Attorney General Eric Holder gave a pretty good summary of what Citi was up to at a press conference this morning here in Washington, D.C.
Despite the fact that Citigroup learned of serious and widespread defects among the increasingly risky loans that they were securitizing, the bank and its employees concealed these defects. They misrepresented the facts, including the level of risk. They sold defective loans to countless investors, including federally insured financial institutions. And they made false statements to investors in marketing materials and even in documents filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Now, if you or I did that, we'd go to prison, but we're not billionaire banksters. The kind of glorified fraud Eric Holder just described made Citi very rich, and it screwed over everyday investors and eventually crashed the entire economy. By now, it should be totally obvious to everyone in America that what Citigroup and the rest of the big banks did was downright criminal. Apparently, though, this isn't all that obvious to this Justice Department. All Citigroup had to do today was agree to sign a statement of facts, admitting that it did the wrong thing by defrauding regulators and investors about subprime mortgages, but not admitting to criminal culpability.
Here you have an attorney general who every time he stands in front of the camera and says, look, you know, we took $1 billion here and $1 billion there, he always says, but, you know, we're still considering criminal charges. The truth is they've never considered criminal charges. The very fact they wouldn't even have him sign a document that admits that they engaged in criminal conduct even hurts the civil cases that are going to be moving against them in the future. So this is, again, you can't miss the fact, and we've talked about this before, but you can't miss the fact that Eric Holder grew up working for white-collar criminals. That's what Covington Burling does. That's who they are. They're specialists in white-collar crime. Whether it's the pharmaceutical industry, the banking industry, the environmental criminals, they represent all the criminals. So just like, this is what he's learned. This is what he's come up with. And so Lanny Breuer, who you might recall, Lanny Breuer also worked with Covington Burling. He's the guy who took over for Eric Holder. And then the last woman who took over for Lanny Breuer also works for Covington Burling. So they're all there to protect Wall Street. And this president clearly knew what he was doing, absolutely no question knew what he was doing when he allowed all this to happen. All of this talk, you can't just blame it on Eric Holder. If this president wanted to do something about it, he'd pick up the telephone and he would say, Mr. Holder, how do you like your job? Do you like your job enough to keep it? Do you like your job enough to treat Wall Street silk-stocking thugs just like you would anybody else? If you like your job, you need to do that. So it comes directly from the president. And understand, this is a president who was on the speaking circuit saying he was going to do something about the criminal conduct of Wall Street. So it's his legacy, Tom. You know what? His last ratings were so low, and when you take a look at why, now here's what's important. Why were they so low? They were so low because Democrats have abandoned him. And one of the key factors they've abandoned him on is his inability or his unwillingness to make criminal Wall Street pay for their crime.